Hello and welcome to Woke Watch, and this week we'll be looking at videos of two teachers because we know the disease of wokeness is rife within the education system on both sides of the Atlantic. And although I believe the vast majority of teachers are good, honest, hard-working people, there are also those who went through the education system and then discovered that the real world is a frightening place. So they trained as teachers. That way they never have to leave school. They're also always an authority figure, able to warp the minds of their young students by spreading their own woke rhetoric, teaching them the importance of victimhood and unbridled hatred towards anyone who doesn't agree with you. Now, I'm not a parent myself, and when people ask me, what do I have if I don't have children, I reply, free time and money. However, if you are a parent, please watch this video and decide which of the two teachers you would like to be educating thine spawn. Let's begin.
I feel like I had to learn the concept of chosen families really young, and it wasn't anything to do with my queerness, but just based on the fact that I didn't have the love at home that I needed, and I knew that I was valuable and deserved it, so I found it on my own early on. And, you know, I shouldn't be blamed for that. Because blood still exists. You were never there for me, and I found my own love, and that's okay, and I think everybody should be allowed to do that, and that's what I fucking teach in the classroom, okay? I always say give it to your friend, not your mom, because fuck your mom. And I don't know, I just am so sad. I am so sad, and I hate my sister. She's a fucking cunt. That's all I have to say.
Where to begin? Well, that person is clearly fucking unhinged. Her queerness has got nothing to do with it, although her makeup looks like it's been done by a partially sighted clown who suffered a head injury. But her mannerisms are of someone who is utterly insane, telling children to find love from their friends because they won't get it from their parents. Imagine a child coming home from a day of that. Hello, Mama. Today at school, we didn't learn how to read and write. Today, I learned that you have never and will never love me. I've learned I'm an actor in the theatre of eternal pain. I shall now go to my room to retreat and wait for death's cold embrace. That's a bit much for a 5-year-old, because that's how old the kids are that she teaches. Calling her sister a fucking... the word that even I'm not going to say, shows how much anger she's got, that she's directing in her classroom towards the children. And also, fuck your mom. It's hard for me to say mom, I prefer to say mum, I'm English. But fuck your mum. How Freudian is that? At least in porn, they make it the stepmom. You see, Disney, they teach you that stepmothers are evil. Pornhub, very different story. So, contrast that clear Fruit Loop with this next teacher, who I would say is anti-woke because she's being confronted by a gender non-binary they-them, but she's having none of it.
You're done. Well, she'd like to get her presentation. Are you ready?
I'm not a she.
You're not a she.
No, I already told you I go by they, them.
They and them. They and them mean multiple people.
No, my pronouns are they, them.
There's no such thing. No such thing.
Yes, there is.
So, like I said, are you, which is a she, ready to give her presentation?
I'm not a she. Like, you go by she, her. So when we talk about the teacher said this, she said that. I go by they, them. So you can ask me, or if you don't get it, you can just say my name. You can say, Parker, would you like to present now?
That makes no sense. What were you going to ask?
That's none of your business.
When you came out, your mom, that is where you came out, what were you
Why are we talking about this right now?
Because I asked you, were you ready for your presentation?
I am ready for my presentation, but I'd like you to respect what I go by.
I am.
You're not, though.
She. You.
No.
Her.
No. They, them. You can ask.
They and them mean multiple.
Teacher, this is a new important thing.
Well, it's not important to me because I'm old school. And they and them is considered multiple
You might
people.
not want to say that to a teacher. It doesn't really kind of go well.
You're being so close-minded right now.
I'm not being close-minded.
You are.
You're being too open-minded. You're so open-minded.
Open-minded.
Yes, you are.
And I agree.
Open-minded.
That don't make no sense. I don't know what damn that means.
Is she?
No.
Him?
No.
There's more of that to come, but I absolutely love that. That teacher is taking none of this woke bullshit, saying there's no such thing as one person being a they, them. The only time it worked grammatically is if you didn't know the person's gender, but we can all see that person is clearly female. And I love that one of the students says, yeah, it's like a new important thing. And you can hear how pissed off he is with it. In fact, I imagine the entire class are sick of this one attention-seeking half-wit. I do not believe that anyone honestly believes they are non-binary. We all know what sex we are. And sex and gender, sorry to say it, they are the same thing. It's just the language has evolved to be more confusing. And for the student to say you're being too closed-minded, I have to say this, in 2023, there is a young white woman telling a black woman how to think in the USA. And the teacher questioning the student on what she was when she was born. Because these are all very simple questions, which everyone knows the answer to, and it destroys the whole non-binary argument. There's more to come now. I promise you, this will be the best thing you'll see today.
You can call me a he, him if you feel so inclined. How about that?
He, him.
Sure. It'll start you in the right direction of calling somebody something that they're more comfortable with, even though you're not. Because it's not about your comfort, it's about my comfort.
It's not about your comfort. You're in my classroom, and in my classroom, you are a her or she.
I don't identify as a she or a her. Please
Oh my
don't
God.
me that.
I'm gonna call you what you are.
I'm gonna call me by my name.
Miss Parker.
No.
Yes, Miss Parker.
I don't like that.
Are
That
you
makes
ready for
me
your
uncomfortable.
presentation?
That makes me uncomfortable.
No, what's making me uncomfortable is you talking about them and
how is that making you uncomfortable? If I'm
because I'm talking
to
to one single person, which
Exactly.
is her,
No.
she, a beautiful young lady, however you want to put it. I want you
I
to
don't
do your
want it
presentation.
put any of that way. I want to be called
It's not
they,
what
them.
you want because right now you're in my classroom, my habitat, my home right now, and as such, you are going to be addressed as Miss Parker.
No,
she,
you can just call me Parker.
her.
If you're uncomfortable with it, you
Let
can
it go.
No, this is important.
And that's
This
what I'm
means
telling
a
her.
lot
Just let
to
it
me.
go.
You
Because
can let it go.
At this
You're
point,
just
what's going to happen is
disrespect students.
I'm not disrespecting you at
I
all,
feel
young lady.
disrespected.
I'm
Please
not.
don't call me that.
Is it that serious that you have to be called that?
It is to me. It is to me, and I'm trying to compromise with you here. Like, you can just call me by my name.
I
if you don't
am
get it.
compromising with you.
What is
I'm
the
calling you a
compromise?
beautiful young lady.
I don't like that. I don't feel that way. Please don't refer to me as such.
So
If I said, hey teacher, what's up, fat old guy? Would you feel happy about that?
I'm not a fat old guy.
Right.
So the student thinks that a compromise is to be called he, him. And I love that the teacher is having fucking none of it. She's staying grounded in reality and is dragging the student into it, whether she likes it or not. And the student saying, it's about my feelings. There's the fucking narcissism with every woke person on earth. It's all about my feelings. Everyone else has to fit in with the way that I feel. And earlier, where the student said her name is Parker, as a Brit, I was thinking, is this just another American name? Because as a Brit, and I know I have Americans who watch this channel, you guys just pick anything as long as it feels right. I could say, here's my daughter, Silver Birch, and that would be fine. I thought Parker was the chauffeur in Thunderbird. That's the only image I get. So when the teacher calls her Miss Parker, that's a masterstroke. And letting that self-entitled little bitch know that while she is in the teacher's classroom, the teacher makes the rules. That's how it should be. That's how education was forever up until the last few years. And if there were more educators willing to act like this brilliant teacher, we could stamp wokeness out. And on the off chance that some woke people have accidentally stumbled across this video, I'm not advocating for a woke genocide. Don't go there. I don't hate woke people. I actually feel sorry for them because I feel they are extremely misguided. They've been too mollycoddled. Essentially, woke people are adults who should have been hit more as children. And I'm not suggesting violence towards children is always a good thing, but you'll find very few woke people from my generation, because when I was growing up as a young child in the 1980s, if a child said something monumentally fucking stupid, or threw a tantrum, they got a clip over, and that way you learned extremely quickly. Whereas these days, we have woke parents who, if their son Sebastian says, "Oh, I feel a bit like a girl," they'll have his cock cut off. And what will happen to Sebastian is in 2 decades' time, he'll be standing on a chair with a rope around his neck. So, we need more teachers like the second lady we saw, and less of the first. In fact, teachers like the first lady, they need locking away for their own safety and the safety of others, because those people will confuse children to such a point that in a few years' time there'll be a new subject called reality. As ever, thanks for watching.